I saw Robbie last night, Gabby's girlfriend, and I fangirled. And I'm like, this is so strange to me because I'm going through some weird thing in life where I feel ashamed to ask people for photos.
What?
Interesting.
I know, like I was at Dancing with the Stars last night. Friends of mine. I was like, I don't want them to think I'm just
Social climbing.
social. Yeah,
You're like,
I'm
you're
like
my bestie.
way too. I don't know. In my head about taking photos with people or doing stuff, I'm like, do they think I'm just gonna like do that because they're on Dancing with the Stars right now and not because I actually just like them? And then I don't know. But I
When
didn't get
did
pictures.
that
Like recently.
She's like, last night.
Yeah, last night at Dancing with the Stars. No, I don't. It started. I've always like not wanted to. Like if I saw Seal one time and I was like, I have to ask for a photo with Seal, but he ended up being a Bachelor fan, so it was fine. But like I've seen some of the biggest celebrities in airports, and I just can't. I could never do it. But like this is very recent that
Yeah.
it's my own friends.
I feel like that's such an LA problem. Also, I'm dying at like the jump from Robbie Hoffman to Seal. As if they like exist in any universe together is crazy.
That's a good
Obviously
point.
they weren't together, but like just hearing those
But
names
that's
back
funny
to
'cause
back, I'm like,
yeah.
huh, wow.
And I had to like justify myself to Robbie. I was like, I don't usually ask to take photos with people. And she was like, that's cool. I was
Yeah.
like, why am I making it
Okay,
weird?
wait. Now I want to know, Shannon, if you had a dinner party with 5 guests, anybody, who would it be?
Oh my God.
Ooh, good question.
Well, Robbie Hoffman and Seal.
Yeah, because now we've already pictured it in our
Yeah,
heads,
yeah.
so
I'm
we
like, who
gotta
else
know
would
what
be
that's
there?
like.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Probably like Sarah Paulson.
Oh, I love
Good
her.
one.
I feel like I would do like a bunch of like, Ellen DeGeneres.
Really?
I need to talk to that woman
Yeah,
once in my life,
I've got questions.
right? Do they all have to be alive?
No,
We don't have
Oh my
rules.
God.
it's your game. And I was like, no,
No,
Nope,
no,
it can be
anyone.
anything.
No, I can't.
Say it now.
I just was watching Chris Clemens' YouTube video, and this person was saying on there that they don't think Helen Keller was a real person. So I almost said Helen Keller. And I'm like, this is not a lesbian. Well, maybe. Who
But you
knows?
never know.
True.
Who knows? I
Wait.
can't think of anyone else. Robbie Hoffman, Seal. So I have 4.
Okay,
Okay.
And Vanessa.
that's nice.
Because
you
can
go.
you imagine what she would be saying to those people?
Get her a couple Jameson shots.
Oh my God.
Like Jameson. Oh, funny. I used to love Jameson. I went through a big Jameson phase when I worked at a bar, and
As you should.
I would. It was almost scary how much I could drink.
I feel like, yeah, you can build a tolerance to something like that fast.
My tolerance right now is for gin.
Where's the wine? I thought you drink wine on your podcast.
I'm so annoyed. So we screwed this up because I don't usually podcast at the studio,
Okay.
and
Shannon's like, I'm leaving.
Where is my wine?
I am actually I should have figured this out because I said to my producer who usually sets it up, I'm like, so is there wine at the studio? And she was like, no. And I was like, what?
What's the point?
What? And she was like, well, let's see if she actually went out of her way to see if they could bring it to the studio from the other one, but it's like in storage.
Got it.
But I should have just brought wine in general. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It
Is
is
it?
1:30 on a Thursday.
Yeah, but that don't stop me.
I mean, I would
Thursday?
drink it.
I think it's Wednesday.
What the hell?
I don't even know where I am. I said that at the beginning. Okay, let's talk about you.
Okay, we can.
I want
And why
to.
we're here.
I'm like, if we must.
You've been doing a YouTube channel since 2012.
Yeah, a long
That's-
time.
That's so crazy because YouTube, I feel like, has been a journey for, like, it went through a lull and now I feel like people
Coming
are back.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
for
feel the
sure.
same way?
Oh my God, yeah. It was definitely like, I think it peaked, but I feel like it's going to peak again.
Yeah. Really?
I think, well, not anytime soon. Like, I think it's on the rise again.
Yeah.
I think people's attention spans are so short, but
Yeah.
also now we're also like all craving something longer, which is
Yeah.
also why like I think podcasts are doing so well.
Mhm.
So hard for me to talk to you because I'm like,
No, you're fine.
but
Crank your neck.
yeah, I think YouTube is like going to come back.
Oh, wait. How do you grow YouTube? I find it so hard because all I'm posting is podcast videos. Do you post like everything?
No, now I'm just podcasts. Like I'm not
okay.
doing, but I might do a few like vlogs. I moved
Yeah.
into a new house, so I'm going to do like a, what do you call it? Showing my house.
A tour.
Thank you.
A house,
House tour.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Please call it a
I
show
don't
in my
know.
house now.
I'm going to call it a showing my house. Please subscribe.
You just bought a house?
No. Oh my
Oh.
God. I want to. Wish.
Yeah.
No, I just moved into a place by myself for the first time. And I'm like 32.
Oh,
Like 32.
so
I am
do
32.
you like that though, or do you?
I've
want-
loved having roommates forever.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was time.
Yeah.
It was getting into like kind of like a red flag territory of
Oh.
like, why? Why do you still have roommates? It's like, move out.
I would go into debt in my 20s just so I could live alone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love being around people. Also, like I was in a sorority in college, so I've lived with 100 girls. So I feel like one girl I can handle for sure.
I feel like I really missed out on college days.
Same.
Did you
Yeah.
go to
Canadians
did you
just
go?
don't. Well, you don't have it really in Canada.
Yeah, it's like a
You don't have college? You just made it sound like you don't have college in Canada. They're like, no
I have
college
purse.
in Canada.
I have purse.
Literally.
Clearly, I didn't go to college, so.
we have universities.
Yeah.
But,
But
we don't
college
have
is,
like
like,
sororities
not a-
or like sorority
no.
houses.
Yeah. No, it's a little different
Yeah.
from
and
what
we-
I know.
And we don't have like prom
What?
king and queen. We have like a graduation
Yeah, but
party.
it's not.
Okay.
It's just, we're like same, only a little different.
Yeah. Also, both of those things are a little toxic anyway. So maybe Canada's doing it right.
Canada's always doing a little right.
A little
Something
better than
right.
America.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Not everything though. Your graphic design is terrible.
Tell me more.
Like when you drive around Canada and you see like the restaurants and like the shopping centers,
Oh yes.
No,
the
yeah.
fonts and like the pictures that they use, it's like all like pic art.
This is the first time I've heard this complaint, but you're so valid.
It literally
That
looks
is
like
valid.
It also feels like you're in like a movie set of like what they think a town would look like. I'm like, that's not what a shopping center should look like.
That's funny.
It's very cheap. The graphic
Yeah.
design.
I'm
I've
glad I
grown quick.
asked you to.
Elaborate
Thank you. Are we okay?
anytime.
Who's your 5 that you would go to dinner with?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Did you have an answer?
I realized I was like, wait, I want to go around the table here.
Okay, I think about this a lot. Mine would definitely have Robin Williams in it.
Oh, good
Great
one.
answer.
Him.
Good one.
I think Betty White,
Ooh.
Dolly Parton.
Oh, yeah.
These people are all old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to learn about their lives.
Yeah.
I need someone gay in there for sure.
Dolly Parton.
Wait, what?
Isn't like Dolly Parton's gay? Like secretly.
Really?
Okay,
Okay.
I'm for this if she is.
I mean,
I mean,
this
that
is
would
not.
make-
Give us the
that would be amazing.
conspiracy
I mean, I
theory.
feel like I'm outing her, but also I'm like, obviously, I do not know Dolly Parton.
Right.
But it's like a conspiracy theory
It
that
is?
she's like maybe queer and
I love this.
that she's like covered in tattoos underneath. But you like,
What?
yeah.
Oh, I have heard that conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
Watch this pop up on my TikTok.
It
now.
will. It will, and you're welcome.
Thank
Go
you.
on a dive. But yeah, she's like she has like a lot of queer friends. Like she's always hanging out with all these lesbians. And then people are like, oh my God. But people thought Oprah was a lesbian. What's the truth?
Nobody
the whole
ever
Gail
knows.
and Oprah thing. And then Oprah was like, no, I'm not.
It's all a
Interesting.
spectrum. We're
I
all
think
gay.
everyone's a little gay.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a scale for that.
yeah, the Kinsey scale.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, continue.
I don't know. Now I'm on the spot.
Mm,
Well, now, exactly.
It's
it was
tough.
really
it's a
hard.
tough question.
And also, I feel like I just outed Dolly Parton.
no, you were saying a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And
correct.
and maybe that's just a little bit of hope for us too.
Oh my God, I hope
Yeah.
everyone's gay. The world would be a better place.
I know.
Honestly,
I-
yes.
Yeah.
I said it on 2 podcasts now, actually, that it's on my vision board to be fully gay.
Oh my God, do it. I think you could commit to that.
I
That
do
seems
think I could
easy.
commit.
Unless you can't
Well,
right
not
now.
not at the moment. I can't commit at the moment. Wait, can I say who I would want at my
Yeah,
dinner
duh.
table? Okay.
This is your podcast. You can do what you
I was like,
want.
may I? May
Yeah,
I say
yes.
mine? Okay, I would go Kurt Cobain.
Ooh,
Great
okay.
answer.
I would also go.
Oh, I'd add Freddie Mercury.
Oh, that's a good one
And
too.
we got a gay one.
Yeah, that's
Good
my
job.
gay one.
Ooh, that is a good one. Wait, I had like 5 in my head,
Sorry.
and now I'm realizing. No. But I'm realizing when you're on the spot, it is hard.
It's hard.
No, 5 is also a lot of people.
Princess Diana.
Mm,
Great
get
answer
the
too.
answers.
Wait, I want Marilyn Monroe.
Ooh, good one.
I need to know some things.
Yeah. Okay. P Diddy. Just kidding.
Let's cut that out.
It would be to murder him. Justin Bieber. I'm throwing him in there,
Mm.
Great.
and then I'm gonna go Britney Spears.
I've got questions for all these people.
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
same.
same. And then my last one. This is sad, but my girlfriend who passed away.
Oh, yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Moving on. That's my 5.
Now cry.
Good vibe.
And now, I'm like,
And now we're all sad.
and now I'm like, move on to your notes, Kaitlyn. Okay, what made you start the YouTube channel?
Well, I'm from Dallas originally. I was going to college in Oklahoma. I was in a sorority. I knew I was gay. I had never seen like a lesbian that I thought looked like me, and I didn't know, like, I was like, can I live like this?
Yeah.
And then I found out about Tumblr, which is like a blogging site.
Oh.
Do you know it?
No.
Perfect. So I got on Tumblr, and then on Tumblr there was like this whole like lesbian mecca of like people, and I slowly got like followers on Tumblr, and then I wanted to like tell everyone my answer. Like I would get a lot of the same questions over and over again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just make a Q&A and then I'll just like say all these answers and then I won't have to keep answering them.
Yeah.
But it was like before YouTube was YouTube. So I had it like unlisted only on my Tumblr. So you could never like find me on YouTube. And then when I graduated college, I had like a good amount of followers on Tumblr. And I was like starting a clothing line at the time. I was like, you know what would help me sell this stuff is if I had like more people listening to me just like talking about this other stuff. And then obviously that stuff worked better than the other stuff.
Yeah.
So just, yeah.
So then did it have part of like, so was that your coming out was on?
I definitely came out on YouTube. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But I also came out in real life, like to friends and family, like slowly over time.
Yeah.
But it was definitely like more of a survival tactic than it was like, oh my God, let me be an influencer, because that word really didn't exist. Like I didn't think it was a job or anything. I feel like
2012 definitely no.
Yeah.
I feel like 2015 is when it started.
Yeah. When it got way more. Yeah. I always joke because I moved to LA in 2015. Yeah. And like when I first got here, Uber drivers would be like, what do you do? And I'd be like, oh, I make YouTube videos. And they'd be like, oh, like you can make money from that? Yeah. And then like a year later, the same Uber drivers would be like, can I give you my card?
Yeah.
Oh,
like they were like, oh, there's like something happening on that website, you know?
It
was crazy.
My grandpa actually went viral on YouTube.
No way.
I think he was 93 and he was doing a Zumba class.
What?
Stop it.
Yeah. And he knew what he was doing. He found the camera. He knew, and he was working it, and it was on the news, and then it like went viral.
Stop.
And he said, "I'm getting hit on the YouTube. I'm getting hits
On the YouTube.
I don't know what it means, but I'm getting hits on the YouTube," and it was a precious moment.
I'm like, why do I? Yeah, he knew what it meant. I feel like he like had a plan.
Oh,
you don't just do Zumba and post it on YouTube.
No.
At 93.
It was on the news, the local news. They had filmed it.
Oh my God, they filmed it.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, he knew how to upload to YouTube? This guy's amazing.
No.
Got it.
But he was so old, he had to like lift his own arm up to like do a dance move. It was the best. I'll show it
please
to you after. I'll put it on my YouTube.
You should.
It's pretty good.
Please.
It's anyone can YouTube Tom McLaughlin Zumba dancing. It's so cute. But I feel like Dallas, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm very Canadian, but I feel like that's a tough place to like feel seen as a gay person.
Especially then in like 2010 or whatever, when I was like figuring it out.
Right.
Yeah, not a lot of like queer representation.
Like, did you grow up going to church and like? Yeah.
My parents are from Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So, but I grew up. I'm like the only person in my family who's born and raised Dallas, like the whole time.
Yeah.
So my family itself was not that Christian, but all of my friends were, and all my friends' families. So it's like more like that energy is in everything that you do.
Yeah.
Like, we did like a moment of silence when we went to school.
Yeah.
Did you guys do that?
No.
Like we did the Pledge of Allegiance, and then we had a moment of silence, which was to pray.
Every day?
Every day.
You know what? I went to Catholic school in elementary and junior high, and we said Our Father prayer every morning.
Yeah, well, the Catholic school makes more sense.
Yeah,
I'm going to public school in Dallas, and we're praying.
Wow.
You know? So it was definitely like very
ingrained.
Christian. Also, I think in general, Dallas is like a very Stepford Wives kind of energy going on. It's like the higher the hair, the closer to God, and all of the like bless your heart really means you dumb.
Yeah.
Like that's Dallas.
Yes, it's like very passive aggressive.
Yes.
And I feel like they're all pretending they're happy when they're not.
A lot of that. I mean, it's not all bad, obviously, but yeah, there is like a huge like part of the culture that feels very. Everything is like keeping up with the Jones.
Right.
Joneses?
The Joneses. Whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So being gay there is like very like, huh.
So then when did people, was it one of those stories where people were like, we knew?
Yeah. I've told this story so many times. I know people who like know me are going to be like, stop telling that story.
That's how I feel. Like, every time I podcast, I'm like, my listeners are probably like, we know, we've heard this story a million times, but my listeners haven't probably heard.
Also, it's like impossible not to tell this because it's a big part of my coming out story. But basically, I fell in love with a girl in high school. Her parents put a baby monitor in her room, like overheard us talking about how we liked each other, then outed me to my family. But then I told my mom was like, you're not gay. And I was like, you're not gay, are you? And I was like, no. I was like, I have a boyfriend, which I did have a boyfriend. So I was like, I knew I loved her, but I was like, please don't be gay. Please don't be gay. So when I went to Oklahoma and I joined a sorority, I was thinking like, oh, I am going to meet my husband in a fraternity basement somewhere and everything will be fine. Yeah. And then I got there and I was like, oh my God, I'm living with 100 women. And I'm a lesbian. Damn it. So
it was like the universe being like,
yeah. They're like,
Here you
really?
go.
You thought that was going to straighten you out? By the way, no.
Yeah, because it's one thing, like Colton Underwood, he was like, I'm going to go on The Bachelor and have 30 beautiful women in front of me to not be gay.
Literally.
And that will work.
If you had asked me to be the Bachelorette when I was 21 years old, I would have been like, yes. Like,
Really?
that will work. Yeah, but that does not work.
Wow. So wait, so how old were you when you came out?
I was 16, about 16 when all of this stuff happened with the baby monitor.
Yeah.
And then I went to college. So it was what? I think when I was 19, I came out to my mom and my dad and my sister. But it was kind of like, in a way, it was kind of a silver lining that experience happened, because when I came out to them, it wasn't like, no way.
Yeah.
They were like, okay. It was going to go one of two ways.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Either she was a lesbian or that was a crazy experiment she
What
went through.
happened with the girl from high school?
Not good things, like conversion therapy and her parents started having like nightly like Bible studies and stuff with her every day after that.
Do you know how she's doing now?
I'm like aware vaguely that what she's doing. I just found out like something crazy about her that I'm like, whoa. But
really?
I try not to talk about her, obviously. She's not like an internet person.
Yeah.
And she's also not out. But she did go on a podcast and talked about having like codependent friendships. And she did say that she had like this friend. She had 3 of them, by the way. 2 more after me.
Oh.
So I'm like, what's going on here? But she was like, only one was physical. So she like kind of came out herself. So then I started talking a little bit more about that experience, because I'm like, you told people.
Yeah.
Because before I was always so scared that someone would be like, oh my God, I bet Shannon's talking about so-and-so if I explained
and
it.
it's such a personal thing that you obviously don't want to.
Yeah, no,
totally. But then when she went on the podcast, I'm like, okay, you told.
Right.
And it is also part of your story too.
Yeah. And also like no one, not like the general masses are ever going to figure it out. It's just more like, oh my God, if any of my high school friends, they would probably be like, oh, we always did.
I'm going on. I'm like more of like I love rooting for a love story that's so, I'm like, maybe
it'll happen again. I'm like, I love my girlfriend. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, and now you are such a strong voice for the community too. Like you've built such a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much. Yeah. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
Gay stuff all the time.
Gay stuff all the time. Well, tell me about your girlfriend.
Oh my God, my girlfriend, Becca Moore. She's so cute.
You two are annoyingly cute together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Annoyingly cute man and woman grosses me out and annoys me. Annoyingly cute gay women cutes me out.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like I'm obsessed with Becca and
Haley.
Yeah. They're so cute.
They're so cute.
I think because there's no man involved.
Yeah.
Just immediately more adorable.
So adorable.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I asked her one time, I was like, what do you get the ick at all? She's like, she's like, you're going to hate this answer, but I don't.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Women in general are like less icky.
Has Becca ever given you
the
the
ick? Have you got the ick?
What did Becca do
I know Becca
recently?
said that
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time I jumped at Best Buy because I made the camera like alarm go off and it like freaked me out so much. And I was like, we have to go. And she was like, you just gave me the ick. And I was like, damn it. What did she do?
Wait, she did something the other night, didn't she? And you're like, that is icky.
I forget.
too.
She did do something. She does like funny little quirky things like that. I'm like, Becca, don't do that. But I can't think of it. What was it?
Wait, the ick for her was you jumped?
Yeah, I jumped.
Like as a response to the alarm.
Yeah, but I got panicked. She was like, don't do that. I'm like, well, I don't want to get in trouble and we have to go now. And actually it happened twice, 2 cameras.
Oh
I just touched them.
Back to back?
Yes. I was
Shannon.
like, look, this Best Buy is sensitive. And then I was like, we gotta go.
I think with girls though, like immediately you're like, no, you're still so cute. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like, that's adorable that you did that. Well, I'm talking about myself. I can't think of what the freaking thing is that Becca did. But she was like, did you just get the ick? I'm like, just a little bit.
Well, they say that you can't come back from the ick, but you can.
Oh my gosh. These are like mild. Like,
mild icks. These aren't major icks.
they're not like, oh, you didn't tip your server. That would be like an ick that you're like, actually never talk to me again.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair enough. Are you quite public with your relationship?
I feel like for me, for a long time, it's just like trying to find a balance of, because I think it's so important to be representation. And it's so like, if you're in a relationship like that, showing people is like, there's so much positivity there.
Yeah.
But also trying to make sure I just never want to feel like I'm like capitalizing off my relationship or like
monetizing. From it.
Exactly.
That's fair.
Because I have done that before.
Same.
Not on purpose, but it was
you
like,
don't realize you're doing it. You're not like, okay, and then tomorrow we're gonna do this so that we
it's a
get
slippery
more.
slope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel, well, I know this because I know you dated a fellow YouTuber. I'm trying to, I did my research.
It's okay.
But I always feel creepy when I do that.
No, you have to. I do it.
But you were very open about your relationship with that one.
Exactly.
Did that kind of shift your perspective for the next one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and now it's also like, it was innocent, you know, like when that happened, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And like, I also thought like, oh, I'm going to marry her. So who cares if we are posting all the time?
Right.
And then I'm like, oh my God, wait, you're 22. You're an idiot. Like, you didn't know anything.
Right.
And then like, I think just like having a digital footprint now too of like multiple relationships is where my fear comes into of like, it's so hard. Like,
I'm
what
in
am
the
I
same
supposed
position.
to do?
But I'm not having
Public.
representation for something bigger than I'm just like don't want people in my relationship anymore. But
Totally.
but I see where you're coming from. I'm kind of like you when you say it's a slippery slope. I love documenting vulnerable moments and highs and lows and goods and bads and all of that. So how do you like navigate having, well, I guess because sometimes you do vlog, but you're also like a presence on social media and a voice. So how do you navigate what you do and don't share?
How do you do that?
I know. I'm like, teach me, please.
Yeah, no, someone let me know too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a delicate balance. I think I overcorrect and undercorrect and I make mistakes all the time, but just trying to make sure that I'm like everything I post, I want it to be coming from like a really authentic place.
Yeah.
And so just checking in with myself, checking in with my girlfriend to make sure like, do you feel good about that?
Yeah.
Like I feel good about that. And like we both have podcasts. So
she has
also
a podcast
like,
too.
yeah. So like deciding how little or how much you talk about things.
Yeah.
And like I'm Becca's first girlfriend. So I think on her podcast, she's been doing like talking a lot about it because it is like a huge thing for her. Like
wow,
it's like a new experience and she's explaining to people. And I think she's developed like this like following of women who are like more like her and like have been victim to like you know, compulsory heteronormative. Yeah. So a lot of her followers, I think, were like, oh my God, you're just like me. Like I feel this way too.
Right.
So like she's having to talk about that experience. And obviously every experience of hers is about me.
Right.
Versus like when I'm talking about my queerness on my podcast, I'm able to be a little bit more vague because I've been out and gay for a long time now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we need to put a number on it?
I'm curious, but no.
I think 12 years, right? Something like that.
12 years. Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean,
Like
for example, like I came out later in life and Becca, I identify with honestly more than you because like I'm more of like a girly girl, like femme. And I was definitely like way more societally like conditioned to be like, I have to do things for the male gaze or like be attracted to men. And then if like hers is a voice I would have wished I had before I came out because I would have related to it so much.
100%. And I probably wouldn't have related to her story because our struggle is so different.
Right.
So I'm just like happy. I'm so happy she's talking about it because I'm like, we need more people. She's like kind of more like in a Becca Tilley lane.
Yeah.
To put it in like a
for me to understand.
Yeah. The Beccas are Becca-ing and doing the same thing.
Okay, let's be real. Nothing kills your will to hit the gym like a dark and chilly night. Oh, gym or cozy bed at home? Or decisions. Well, if your bed is anything like mine, the gym is losing that battle 9 out of 10 times. And that's why I am so glad that I have discovered Alo Moves. Alo Moves is the health and wellness app that brings your best workout to the comfort of your home. No excuses, whether you've got a full hour to work out or just 5 minutes, there's literally a class that will fit your schedule. So from yoga to Pilates to strength workouts, beginner to advanced, there's something for everyone and you can start a guided program or just try something new, all from the comfort of your living room. Plus, it's more than just fitness. Aloe Moves offers meditations, sound baths, that's my favorite part of the app, nutrition tips, self-care tutorials, and so much more. So it's no surprise Aloe Moves is an award-winning app, and honestly, it's helped me keep up my fall fitness routine even when the weather is not cooperating with me. So if you're ready to make staying fit this fall easier, go to aloemoves.com and use code VINE for an exclusive 30-day free trial. Plus, enjoy 20% off an annual membership. That's aloemoves.com, code VINE for a 30-day free trial and 20% off an annual membership. aloemoves.com, code VINE. Okay, I have to be honest. I recently went grocery shopping and it was not pretty. By the time I had everything in my cart, I could already feel my wallet just screaming at me like, no! And as we gear up for the busy holidays with all the expenses they bring, it's just more important than ever to find ways to save time and money. So I fell in love with Every Plate. Every Plate is the most affordable meal kit out there, and they make it so easy. Their fresh, pre-portioned ingredients are actually cheaper than buying groceries, which means more money for holiday shopping or whatever you want to save for. With more than 25 weekly recipes to choose from, you can enjoy crowd-pleasing varieties like 30-minute meals, family faves, calorie smart, veggie dishes. And if you're prepping for Thanksgiving, they've got amazing sides like apple pie crescent rolls and sweet potato casserole. Or if you need a break from all the rich holiday foods, I get it. They've even got holiday detox recipes. So with Every Plate, I get pre-planned, easy to make meals delivered right to my door. No more stress with affordable dinners for just $5.99 per serving, plus 50% off your first box. Every Plate helps you save money for a stress-free holiday. Get this amazing deal by going to everyplate.com/podcast and entering code VINE599. That's code VINE599 at everyplate.com/podcast.
Do you, like, if someone doesn't follow you and they're going to, what kind of content would they?
Yeah, so I have a podcast called X's and O's where it's like queer relationships and sex. Each week I interview a different guest. They're all queer. And yeah, we talk about a lot of different things from like gender identity to like sex and like queer sex and just like trying to create more conversation. Like I think we have so much, there's so many podcasts obviously in general, but I feel like there's so much normalization of straight sex and like there's so little for, I feel like so quickly anything lesbian sex becomes so sexual rather than just being like informative or like what kind of toys are you guys using, you know? Yeah. But it instantly, in a different context, feels so sexual. Like I feel like people are thinking of like lesbian porn. Yeah. So many, I think it's like a scarier thing to talk about or like more stigmatized to talk about it. So I'm trying to like create that conversation and in a way that's like more like, not that it's innocent, but it's like just like conversational.
It's not for like an entertainment purpose.
Yeah, it's not like sensational or trying to be like, oh my God, what kind of strap on do you use? Yeah. I mean, we do sometimes talk about that, but it's more in like this is a normal thing.
Like curiosity and educational and informative.
And we should talk about it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Straight people talk about other stuff too.
Inclusive guests. Like it's something that I would like listen. I mean, I do listen to it and like relate to and but like all different types of queerness exist on your podcast.
Exactly. I think a huge problem also for myself was with my own YouTube channel. I got so sick of talking about myself. Like I was like, oh my God, what more do I have to say? And then like during COVID and everything, I was just like, I just like feel like I said all the stuff I wanted to say. So having a podcast that's guest focused, I'm like, it's nice to be able to give the microphone to someone else. And I also feel re-inspired to like share my own, what am I doing at 32? Right. Because everything I ever made was like for a younger version of myself. Right. And now I'm like, wait, I can do the same thing I wanted for my 18-year-old self, but like now my audience is more like my 27-year-old self. Right. You know?
Ooh, that's interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice. I feel like there are more conversations. Wait, do you have a co-host?
No.
Oh, it's just you. Mm-hmm. And okay. Who did I have on my podcast? And I think I saw you two having a podcast. It'll come to me, but
Becca Tilley came on my podcast.
Did she?
Mm-hmm. You guys were on the same season, right?
Yeah. I think we were in love with each other and not him because we would like spend we would like hold each other's hand at rose ceremonies, like hoping the other one wouldn't go home.
That's
and
so
like
sweet.
Napped together and like.
Wait, JoJo was on that season too, right?
No, so this
JoJo's
is where it
on
gets
Ben.
confusing.
I watched your season. I loved you.
Oh wow!
And I also thought you were queer coded, and I also thought Becca was. I thought both. I was like, these girls are a little too interesting for the show.
I definitely had a little crush on Becca.
That's so cute.
I definitely did. And she admitted to me that she did too.
It's a love story we never knew about.
Yeah. Well, before Becca came out, if you Googled Becca Tilley gay, it would come up as me and her, and it would say Becca and Kaitlyn talk about being the first gay couple to come out of.
What the
we
hell?
would talk about it.
That's so. Oh my god. Okay,
Nice.
because I was always just shipping her with JoJo. They didn't give me enough. They really like showed them so much on that Ben season. I feel.
Yeah, they're like besties.
Yeah.
So Chris Soules was the season I was on. Becca was on that one with me. She was final 2, I was final 3, and then Ben Higgins was on my season. And then Ben became the Bachelor, and I was like, Becca, I could see you with Ben. And so then she went on Ben's season and met JoJo.
The Bachelor
This
webs
is
are
too
like the
weird.
lesbian webs.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like, it's-
no. I'm familiar
In the
enough.
club, we all fam.
Literally, I know enough. You guys. So you and Becca are like Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in
Yeah.
Bachelor world.
Wait, when did you come out?
Well, I don't really feel like I'm a comer outer because I don't really know what I am. So I get
When did
scared to
you
put a
talk about
label on it
Yeah,
because I am very much attracted to men,
for sure.
but then I'm attracted to energy and then I get attracted to women. And I've been with women before.
Fair enough.
So I've never really had a coming out
The
moment.
labels have so much value because obviously it helps people identify, but then
But
I
then
also
what-
get overwhelmed by them too because I'm
Yeah, I
like,
get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
yeah, like
'Cause-
I came out as bi, but I definitely feel like I'm way more gay. So, but then I'm like, what if I ever like a man again? I don't know. I don't want to.
Right.
Yeah. I feel
But-
like people. I
won't.
do think in 2020.
Yeah, you're gay, Bailey.
Hey, don't do that. No, I feel like in 2024 we're finally being more fluid with
Yeah.
like labels because we've seen it happen so much. Where like someone who identified as a lesbian falls in love with a man,
Right.
And I think people are finally getting to a point where there's finally so many of us that it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like so much of a betrayal anymore.
Yeah.
Like when we lose a lesbian, which you never do, but like
You never
if a
do.
lesbian if a lesbian who was out as a lesbian decides to be with a man, it's like, okay, I know 40 other lesbians
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
look up to or
Yeah.
think about. It's not as much. I think before it felt like a personal betrayal of like, you're lying. I do think if I ever got a boyfriend, people would be like, what the is wrong with you?
that
So,
one would be a little weird.
I think people would be
I
like,
think you'd have like some friends sit you down and
Yeah.
there'd be some combos.
that would be a betrayal. And don't worry, it's not going to happen.
There would be like a chemical imbalance in your brain happening.
So I would have lost my mind. Yeah, for
okay.
sure.
Got it.
So check in on me if I ever have a boyfriend.
I think overwhelmed is a good word to use with the labels
Yeah.
and stuff because I get how that is helpful and I also get how it's overwhelming. And then you were talking to me about this and Katie Thurston was talking to me about this last night as the queer baiting. Like, you know, like there's a lot of good representation out there right now. And we're talking about in the music industry.
Yeah.
Like what's happening. The music industry is so fire right now with that. Like Chappell Roan,
Yeah.
obsessed.
Yeah. Troye Sivan.
Yeah, obsessed.
There's like so many lesbians who have just like are on top.
Renee
right now.
Rapp.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would
See,
You have a
I would
crush.
do
gay.
I would do weird things to her.
Fluid.
I would do.
I would too.
I would do. I would do.
I would do. Yes. So what is queer baiting exactly and how do people not do this?
I think that's a great question. I think queer baiting traditionally, from what I know of it, is just like someone like kind of like dangling to an audience that there's like a potential storyline you're getting that is queer.
Just
and
for-
then but it's not real. And also I think people get angry about it when you're like capitalizing off of it in a way of like curating an audience of people who are thinking you are one of them.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, none of it was actually real.
Yeah.
Or like if you watch a show and you think that like there's going to be a storyline where two people get together and it never happens. It's like, okay, you were queer baiting us to like get us into the show, but then you never gave us like
Got
the
it.
satisfaction of. But I just think people are just talking a lot more about sexuality in general. And I think we should be more like, I don't know, open to anyone like expressing that there's a queerness to them.
I
Because what's
know.
wrong with that? Like that should be a positive thing.
Right.
Agreed.
But yeah, I think like marginalized communities so often can turn in on themselves too because they've gone through so much pain.
Yeah.
So it's like a quick thing to be like, I don't know, don't steal this thing from us that is so precious.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like this thing is so precious that I wish everyone could experience it.
Right.
Okay, wait. What are some queer or lesbian stereotypes that you fit into and that you don't?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That's a great question. Not being like bestie friends with all my exes.
Yeah.
I don't fit into that. I definitely fit into a lot of like style ones, hats, carabiners, Converse, those ones. I don't got any flannels. So
Oh.
True.
I feel like that's a dying
You got a
lesbian.
waffle knit though. It's kind of
This is the new flannel. The
A
waffle
waffle knit, a
shirt
waffle
is like
knit,
the
yeah.
new flannel for lesbians, and I'm doing it. Falling in love. I definitely like doing that.
U-Haul.
You do?
I don't U-Haul though. Like I don't move people into my house and stuff. Like people
But like
U-Haul.
move fast.
Yeah.
When I say U-Haul, I mean like not necessarily U-Hauling into your home, but like a
Yeah.
rapid lightning speed progression.
I am a serial monogamist, which is definitely
Romantic.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
cute.
yeah. So
Yeah, I feel like that's also a stereotype that gay people get that they're not.
gay men especially.
men,
Gay
Yeah.
men especially.
Gay women usually.
Oh, really?
Opposite, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we are falling in love.
I think I asked this, but how long have you and Becca been together?
We started dating like this year, basically.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And then I know you said, so it's like there's so much more to your journey than just your coming out story. What has been like your high and low, the peak and valley? What
Oh
is
my
like
gosh.
a highlight that
Rose
you
and
can think
thorn.
of your journey?
I feel like for a long time, like at the beginning of coming out, I was pretending that I was comfortable with myself.
Mm.
And I think that's also just something about being in your early 20s in general, you know? Like I think everyone probably experiences that. But towards my late 20s and now, especially now, I feel like I am so stoked about who I am.
Yeah.
And I would like tell anyone in the world, you know?
Which
and
people
feel
struggle
proud.
with that in general.
Exactly.
To
So
get there.
Totally. And I think another thing is just like more like gender expression stuff, getting more and more comfortable with what I want to wear and not
Yeah.
feeling so much like in my early 20s, I was still wearing like dresses to weddings and stuff because I
Yeah.
didn't want to.
Offend someone.
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
such a true thing too, because like I would not dress like I'm in track pants right now. Like I would question if I look too gay because I was trying to suppress it
Really?
as like a girly.
And
like,
not
that,
even
yeah.
realizing that you were doing it? Or
No,
did
no,
you
I was
realize?
aware
Oh,
internally,
okay.
but also just like denying it in my head because I was like, you're not gay, but you look gay. You don't want to look like this.
Wow.
Because I wasn't out at the time.
Yeah.
So like it is a whole, like your clothes and just, I don't know, it's a
Yeah.
very, very valid thing.
Yeah, queerness is like so much more than just who you kiss, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like there's so much more going on there. And also I think it's funny because a lot of lesbians or queer women at least will like go kind of far into tomboy stuff and then they like regress back. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't need to be wearing all those hats, you know? That's a stereotype that I don't fit because I'm like, give me more hats. Like,
I give you all the
yeah.
hats.
But a lot of girls, especially if you're more like you,
Yeah.
you'd be like, you can tiptoe into.
Okay, wait, what would you call me? Because there's like chapstick, tomboy.
Yeah.
Someone called me a power femme the other day and I'd never heard that before.
Wait, can I know these? What is chapstick?
Okay, so
what
a
are
lips.
you? What do you?
I call myself a chapstick
Okay, yeah.
lesbian.
I know what a lipstick lesbian is.
Exactly. So a chapstick is what you would assume, right? It's
A
like
more
it's like like
Moist-
In
Moisturizing?
between, like,
yeah, like you maybe
lubricating
wear like like let's call it a tinted moisturizer lesbian.
okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Think about that level. It's me. By the way, it's just me.
It's you.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So like
Shannon wears makeup.
yeah.
Okay. And then what is the other terms?
There's
Power femme. I
Power
never
femme,
heard
apparently.
that.
I never heard that. But
What's
it's like
power femme? Like alpha?
I think it's between like tomboy femme and lipstick femme and like very this is how it was described to me. I don't actually know.
Disclaimer.
Like more out there outfits, like very into fashion.
I get that.
Like that.
I
But
see
like
that.
because I can dress like a little more tomboy, but I still will do like a full face of makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
full
I'll
beat.
dress really girly, no makeup, like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel the most beautiful when I'm dressed like a tomboy.
Same.
Yeah.
I really
I
do.
think most girls look best that way, but that's just my opinion. Also, this is like another thing where the label of it all, I think, can start to overwhelm people.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
you're like, okay, wait, I just figured out that I'm bi, or I just figured out I'm a lesbian. Now I have to know what kind of lesbian I am. It's
right.
like,
And then also
No,
you
you
feel like you have
don't.
to stay in a box and you don't. Like
No.
one day
Yeah,
I
you-
want to dress like a tomboy, the other day I want
Right.
to dress like high heels and a frilly dress.
You're like I'm
just
still
gonna do
just
it.
a
Like,
human being inside
yeah, I'm
too.
still
100%.
gay and I still want to kiss girls. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
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 Becca got in trouble, or not in trouble, but she called me mask in like she went on a podcast and she's like, I never saw a lesbian like Shannon. Like, she's kind of mask. And people are like, Shannon is not mask. She's just like, what do they call me? Like a tomboy in a hat or like a femme? A femme in a hat. I'm like, God, back to the hats. Anyway, I love them.
Wait,
but
what's mask?
Mask, would be like a really masculine.
Like very
okay.
what you when we were
Like almost
younger would have
butch.
seen. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
like
what you're
a
saying.
word. The butch was like a
Yeah.
more common word. I think mask is like taken over as more like common in the queer community.
Yeah.
But I'm not mask. But she that's again, she's like, she didn't know.
Yeah.
100%.
What-
Yeah.
So, like, you said
I'm
you
not
got to a
them.
place where you're so comfortable with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So many people listening right now probably are like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
I'm working on it so hard, and I feel like every year I get closer and closer to being like, this is who I am. But how are you doing it? How?
I don't know. I mean,
It probably helps that you get to have conversations all the time about it.
yeah, definitely helps to have like those kind of conversations. I think being a lesbian is so cool in so many ways, and a huge way is like decentering men. And when you decenter men in general, like your thoughts of the world start to change because you're not just seeing yourself in comparison to men all the time, or like, where do I fit here? So when I started to let that go and being like, oh my God, wait, I don't care anymore if for a long time, I still wanted to be attractive to guys too.
Interesting.
Even though I knew I was a lesbian, I'm like, because I just want to be attractive in general, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
But-
I get that.
Then I was like, why do I don't want that actually. I love when like any girl thinks I look good. And when I'm in a community of so many queer women, so I get that validation more often anyway too.
Right.
So, but I think, decentering men was so powerful in finding out who I am and like what I actually want. And I think straight women could potentially do that as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
To realize that they are their own person, and that like just femininity in general is so like, I don't know, powerful. I think
So
more
powerful.
powerful than masculinity in so many ways. So
I would have to agree with you.
yeah.
I see it more and more, and I think it is because of like people like you that are able to use your platform to have conversations, and musicians that are having conversations, and more, representation that people don't. I mean, the world is changing so fast,
Yeah.
like
Keep
in
up.
so many ways.
I know.
Which also gives me hope for, like, if I ever raise a child,
Mm-hmm.
because that scares the shit out of me to bring a child into this world, but also gives me a little bit of hope with where things could be going.
Could be going.
Yeah.
Okay, good taste is easy to spot, but hard to pin down. You know it when you see it, and in today's culture, there's no greater signifier of taste than the car you drive. You want something sophisticated but not stodgy, daring, yet classic, approachable but lavish, and that is where the Range Rover Evoque comes in. Make a statement in the Range Rover Evoque where elegant design meets advanced technology and premium materials. With its quiet, bold exterior, the Evoque has Range Rover DNA running through its veins. Clean lines, floating roof, a continuous waistline, and a striking three-dimensional grille all come together to create a captivating, charismatic vehicle. Inside, the Range Rover Evoque offers a calm, minimalist cabin that is both modern and functional. The center console features a tactile gear shifter, adding to the sophisticated experience. Whether you prefer a modern aesthetic or a more warm and authentic feel, the interior can be tailored to you. The Range Rover Evoque is art and craft in equal measure, and it's charisma in motion. So are you ready to elevate every drive? Explore the Range Rover Evoque at LandRoverUSA.com. This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Vinos, you know how picky you are about your podcast queue. Whether it's true crime, comedies, celebrity interviews, motivational speakers, you pick what makes you happy. And guess what? Now you can do the same with your auto insurance. Introducing the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, it is exactly what it sounds like. You get to decide how much you want to pay for car insurance, and then Progressive will show you a variety of coverage options that fit your budget. It's that easy. So if you want to take control of your car insurance and save a little cash along the way, check out the Name Your Price tool. You can start a quote and choose the option that's right for you, fast and hassle-free. Quote today at progressive.com and join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Do you and Becca ever podcast together?
We have not.
Are you going to?
It goes back to the like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Fair
deciding how much to share, not to share.
Yeah.
I don't think the answer is no. Like we always joke about it that we're like, we should do it. But then I'm like, yeah, just cautious
Yeah.
of, And also, yeah, people just like, I think the thing that also is so scary is like, I want to be representation, but I also don't want people to have unrealistic expectations of me and my relationships and like ship them too intensely, because I've had that experience as well. And it's like, we are also just real people and we have real problems, but I'm not going to be talking about that. Like, that's not going to be in my...
It's such a big responsibility to have people so invested in you.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
And not wanting to disappoint them, but also not. And that's why I'm also like, okay, I can control this movie. Like, I always joke that I think for some people, and not all people that follow me, but for some people, I am like a character to them in a movie that they watch.
Yeah.
I've realized like in the last year, especially even, I'm like, I can control what scenes of this movie they get to see.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my ex-girlfriend invited me to her show in LA, and we are like friends, like we're on good terms, but I'm like, I'm going to go to that show and people are going to take pictures of me and videos of me and they're going to be like, oh my God, she was at the show. And it just adds a new scene to the movie. You know, even talking about this right now, I'm like, I know that people will be like, oh my God, Shannon didn't go on purpose and Carrie did invite her and all this stuff.
Oh, that's so hard.
Yeah.
That, like I said, that's too much of a responsibility for what other people are thinking.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing. But so much positivity that I can't even feel like I can complain about that.
Do you feel like TikTok, like how has that changed the landscape for queerness in terms of also like there's a lot more representation, but I feel like it's also goes back to being like so toxic because people are so invested in like lestopia on TikTok.
I think it's like, because of short form video, I think short form like creators in general are way more, it's way easier to make them a character. Because you know a lot less about them. Like, I follow people on TikTok. I don't know where they live.
Yeah.
I don't know where you're coming from. Yeah. I know, but I'll know a really intimate, weird story about something else. But I'm like, I don't know. Do you have a mom? Do you have do you have siblings?
Right.
Whereas the YouTuber and the YouTuber like age of that kind of creation was so much more like, and this is my dad. This is what he looks like. This is my mom. This is my family house. Like, you were like a more actualized person to people.
Yeah.
And I think people were kinder because of that.
Yeah.
And now on TikTok, when you know so little, but so quickly, you feel also entitled to judge them and think of them like they are not a real person. Because I think the way people comment on TikTok, who would say that in their right mind to someone's face? No one. People don't talk like that.
A lot of like lesbians on TikTok sometimes aren't even together, but they're like trying to go viral or get clicks or likes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That ain't it for me.
Yeah, because people want that content so badly. That's the other thing that's so tricky, because I'm like, I know I could post some stuff with my girlfriend that would go viral. Yeah. Like, I'm like, I know what these people want to see.
Yeah.
Because I want to see it. I think it's cute too. I'm like, I like it. But then I'm like, but at what cost?
Right.
Yeah.
It's a new scene for a movie that I want to direct.
That's also on growth.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. I was literally just going to say that.
Finish each other's
sandwiches?
Yeah.
I was literally just going to say that because that's so, you take something away from each relationship and each situation in life, and you're always just getting better.
Hopefully.
Yeah, always. And where can people find your podcast? What's it called? X's and O's.
X's and O's.
Right.
Welcome to the chat.
But you can follow me on everything. It's at Now This Is Living.
And because you do beautiful photography too.
Oh, thank you so much.
Shannon's insanely talented.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Like, do people hire you for photography, or is it just something you do as a...
Just Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande? You did her photography?
Sometimes, yeah.
Cool.
Random. Yeah. I love photography. I like my podcast. I like to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I don't really want photography to be my job, because it's kind of like a hobby and a passion.
Yeah.
And I have already found, I've already found a way to like monetize so many other passions of mine that I think some things I should just do for fun.
Yeah.
That's important.
That. Yeah. That is important. I could have this conversation all day, but thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Is there like something that you wanted to share that we didn't talk about that you wish we did?
I don't think so. Are you curious about anything else you want to hear?
No, do you have any like projects coming up or anything that you want to talk about?
Really just working on my podcast. I'm getting a new studio that I'm setting up in my house. Cool. And it's going to be...
She's getting a porn bed.
Okay.
What's that?
Don't tell. Don't tell.
A porn bed?
Okay, cut it out.
No, you can leave that. But just don't tell exactly what it looks like. I'll tell you when
The
we're
set's
done.
cool. I've seen
Oh,
sneak
yeah.
peeks.
The
I
set's
want
gonna
to
be
see some
cool.
sneak peeks.
I'll show you.
But thank you so much for
Thank you for
coming
having
on.
me.
It was a really lovely conversation. And
It was so nice.
yeah, and it's nice to have you here, Bailey.
Little co-peanut.
Thank you, Bailey.
My little
I feel still
co-peanut.
bad. Like I couldn't look at you. Like why do I feel like my neck
Yeah,
is broken?
we're gonna have
It's the
some beef
mic
later. It's okay.
situation.
It's yeah.
'Cause I'm like, I wouldn't it to follow me. I need like a
I'll hold
Britney
on to this for,
Spears
like,
one.
Yeah, you need a
7
Britney
minutes.
Spears mic.
Hey guys.
I'm Kaitlyn Bristowe. I'll see you next Tuesday.
You're next.